Back to part 4 of this DIY Halloween skull prop tutorial. I'm Brian and I'm an effects artist for the film industry, and previously I showed you how to build up a plastic skull with latex and cotton. Today I'm going to show you how to change the brows a bit and how to build an ear from scratch. So let's get started. You want to build up the inside of the brow, and you can see how tricky it really is. So start with small strips and shape it with small tools until you're satisfied with the look. Try not to overdo it. Start with small pieces and build up. I'll speed up here and you can see that I stick with it for a little while. It takes a little while to shape it, but just stick with it. Just be patient and it'll turn out nice. So the goal here is just to get any kind of angry look to it. If you can get any kind of emotion out of it, I mean, it's just latex on plastic skull. It's going to be cool. So just stick with it. Okay, let me preface this next part by saying no one in effects has ever done it this way. I was simply experimenting and it didn't turn out half bad, so I figured I'd show you what I did. I drew a crude ear sketch and saturated cotton with latex. I then started shaping that ear, pushing it back into that crude sketch. I added little bits and built up slowly, basically until the dopamine from the ADHD hyperfixation wore off. After that dried, I was able to peel that off the table without powdering it. This allowed it to be a little sticky still. I then used like a cotton ball and just put a little pad right behind the ear there and then placed the ear right on that. Because it was still sticky, it grabbed right away and it was able to stick on there really well. I won't be able to do much to it now until this dries up a little bit. I did the same thing to both sides, and after they were dry, I was able to go back and add little strips of latex and sort of seam it together, and then also add enough latex and cotton to sort of build the ears up a little bit. They were built on a flat table, so they do need a little extra padding to help them sell their illusion a little bit. You can just keep adding like little strips or 1-inch squares, little swatches, and just blend those in and just sort of add a little girth to the ear. It'll start to take shape and start to form out a little bit. And it's just a hint of an ear. It's just, it's a zombie, so just kind of go with it. So I like when I'm working with these little tiny details to just sort of dab along the surface just a little bit, because if it's going to drag, it's going to tear the whole thing up. So just real delicate moves at this point. And I did both sides that way. And if you remember earlier, I told you I'd exposed the seam. So here I'm going to come back and just sort of lay on more latex. And also I want to make sure that I'm leaving a torn edge on the skull and a feathered edge on the skin. Also, this is the time I want to go back and find any blemishes or holes and fill those in with latex. And then also any of the parts that look like fibers of cotton, I want to kind of go over those and just stipple latex over that as well to help seam it a little bit, just sort of hide those blemishes. And during these final passes, there was a thin spot on the skull, on the top of the skull. I figured I'd add a little bit of latex there and then also reshape some of that tear a little bit. Well, that's pretty much it for now, and I feel like I'm at a bit of a crossroads. I could either paint this at this point and have a pretty decent table display for Halloween, or, I don't know if you know this, but a paper towel roll has similar proportions to our upper torso, so I might want to build this zombie up a bit. Let me know what you think in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe or comment and share. Thank you very much for watching.